This year is going to be a strange one. There's going to be a lot of strange things happening. AI technology is going to accelerate. It's the prophecy the Lord shared with us ever since 2018, where we talked about how there'd be silent steps with artificial intelligence, and then a large step, and then it would be quiet again, and then it would really take off and it'd become mainstream, like household conversations. You're seeing that right now with technologies such as this new Chat GPT, which we've talked about a few times, but it's really coming strong, and this is part of that prophetic word the Lord gave us. This is going to accelerate things a lot faster than people realize. This Chat GPT is a learning algorithm, not just helping people, but it's also a dual function. In other words, it's going to help people do things, but it's, like to create emails, to create content, to write things, to do all this. But I want to say to you that is a step that's going to begin to accelerate, and it's going to go quick. The UFO narrative is going to come back on the scene with a lot of momentum. And you're seeing that there are, and they've been since World War II, they've been tracking these things, and they've been seeing that there are indeed real issues out there. Now, again, you say, what are you talking about, Joseph? The real issues that they have is these things begin to visit or cause harm to people that are part of nuclear bases. I want you to see something that's really important with this, because when we're talking about it, you realize that this narrative is, first of all, it's a deception. And again, it's one of three things. First of all, this UFO deception, or UAPs, whatever, both they're saying now that you can see these things, they can measure them, both in the skies, but mainly they're now suspecting that they are from an underwater origin. Let me say this to you, that there's this topic of this, because number one, it's either tech, which there is some things that get tech, it's global. There's other tech that's out there that's so advanced that people don't even know how to quite deal with it or cope with it, but there's other tech that's going on, and you're seeing that happen. In addition to that, then there is this thing, like you realize there's the Project Bluebeam. I don't know if you guys have heard of that type of conversation, where it is absolutely fake, okay? It's fake. It's a fake scenario, okay? Then there's the topic of I'll just call it the demonic or fallen angel stuff, all right? Now, what's going on there? I believe it's a number of things. There's either through this fallen demonic garbage, this trash that is, you go all the way back to Genesis 6, the fallen angel mess and all this. I believe that they are looking for permission. That's the demonic part of this, to manifest. If you just call darkness into light and you just expose it to the light, you defeat it. You defeat it. And there's a lot of goofy mystical Christians out there that they're going to begin to partake in some of these things. And suddenly, if there was a appearance of some crazy wicked entity that began to show up over a city or over an area, a lot of people will be like, oh no, the proof is here. We believe it now. Now we believe it. Now we're going to begin to just go ahead and participate in this. We're going to believe in it just because we can see it. And more, there's going to be disclosure. You're going to keep hearing the word more disclosure, more stuff with this. And I've got to tell you, this is a deception. Now you're looking at this picture and this demonic fallen thing. And of course, I've talked about this a few times, but you recognize there are technology agencies such as what's going on over at CERN. CERN is, of course, that place where they got the Large Hadron Collider, and they're sending particles around and firing them at one another, and they're beginning to study these particles as they collide, and they open up portals. That's one of the things they're very concerned about. Open up portals, mini black holes is something they're worried about. But as they open up portals, it's an interdimensional scenario. All of it is a deception. And as I just said to you, I believe that these three areas is either one, people are mistaking tech for UFOs, because I think there's some pretty advanced tech out there, or it's that blue beam thing where it's fake and it is projected. You got people that have half-truths that are coming out and saying that a lot of this stuff that they're going to put out is a fake alien invasion, and that is something that will unite the whole planet. This is absolutely a plan they will bring out, and it's a great way to usher in a one-world order, okay? It's a great way to do it. They'll say, we are now united. It's Independence Day. Woo! Independence Day. They're floating over cities. It's time to get a hold of these guys, you know? And they want to bring everybody together over this, and they'll project it, just like that Spider-Man movie. But the ultimate goal of this is this nefarious, demonic, fallen angel thing, and they want to begin to be allowed to come in. You see in the book of Revelation, it talks about the great pit is open, the bottomless pit, and the Abaddon will come out, and these wicked spirits want to manifest. So you say, well, why go down these roads? Well, because to be forewarned is to be forearmed. If you begin to understand what's really going on, if all of a sudden some crazy craft appeared over your city or over your area, you're not going to be moved or shaken because you at least somewhat understand what the fundamentals are and why these things are happening. It's a great end time, last days deception, whether it's real and you can physically touch it, or they communicate and these things actually have interaction with humanity, or it's projected, or it is absolutely something that's technology that's way beyond our understanding, or if it's a complete mix, okay? It's a complete mix. You got to realize none of it's good, all right? Any of the three. And I believe that they would use these things for these purposes. Now, for us to think or look at it and say, well, that's not possible, it's just pretty black and white out there, is not true. It's not true. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on. But the answer is the same. Jesus Christ is Lord. And now they've taken Tucker out of the way, but here's what's going to happen. Listen carefully to me. They're going to begin to decline their voice. They think they're taking a greater step, and they're going to decline. Because real truth is coming out now, and I'm telling you, Tucker's going to have the last laugh here. There will be another round, and victory will come out of this, and you're going to see a uniting of platforms like you've never seen before, where God begins to bring the voice of truth to a generation. This is good. It's protection, not rejection. This is part of what I saw for a springtime or April intervention. This is a part of that, and I believe very clearly that we're going to begin to see now the legacy media stumble hard, and it's going to stumble hard, and victory will come out of this. The Lord God is going to make a way where there's been no way. You're going to still get truth. You're going to see truth, and they're thinking by controlling the big platforms that what they're going to do is control the narrative. Not true. Not true. All they're doing is letting go of the very momentum that they had the whole time. We got to be praying about where this is going. But I sense a great uniting of several platforms, a great uniting of those that know, a great uniting of those that have the strength of God on them to speak the truth. The Lord is going to release truth through this moment. The Lord is causing truth to come out in this moment. This is a judgment against the legacy platforms, a judgment against the legacy news media. And you're going to continue to watch ratings plummet. I don't know if you noticed this, but just since they did this in the last day, Fox News lost $1 billion. They tried to recover and recoup, but they lost $1 billion instantly. If you watch some of the shares and the way it's been going, they lost $1 billion. Now, maybe I'm not a smart man, but in some forms of business, you might say that's a little bit of not a good day. But they're looking at it like, no, it's going to be amazing. It is not going to be amazing. They'll try to prop things up. They'll make it look like things are working and operating normally. But I am telling you right now, the Spirit of the Lord is going to bring out a new truth and a new understanding of media. I believe guys like Elon are going to get involved. I believe there's going to be a whole nother round of this. I believe we're going to see different wavelengths and satellite things happening that will bring the truth of the gospel out and bring out the truth in media. You're going to see it more and more. And this is where we're headed now. And the last round of legacy news media just was sounded. The bell was rang for the last round. We're going to see a whole nother round now where real truth is spoken, real light is spoken. What has happened here is you're going to see more and more of this where people, it looks really bad, it looks difficult, but then we're going to see a revival of sorts of truth. Truth will have another round. Truth will have another day. The truth of the gospel will have its day, and the truth of information will have one more run at the culture. One more run at the culture. Legacy media, The only people who will continue listening to that are people that are just in habit, and they'll continue to do it, and there will be some of that. But I'm telling you, there's going to be a uniting. Well, yeah, there'll be a uniting between Tucker, Bongino, all these guys, whether they're separate or together. But there's going to be a big old uniting coming now, and people are going to get really good information, and it's going to come. All they've done is take the leash off Tucker. They just took his leash off. And if you think Tucker's done, no, it's Fox News that's done. Tucker's going to do great. So is Bongino, all these guys, because people are hungry for truth. And whenever you suppress truth, eventually it comes out somewhere.
We were at an event once and I was teaching, and we started to pray for people. And so I told them to go get this girl that I met earlier who had a deaf ear. I prayed for her and I said, I'm going to pray in your deaf ear, and you just stop me whenever you can hear. And she was trying to explain to me, no, I don't need healing. It's not my hearing. I was hit in the head with a pipe when I was a kid.
Wow.
And I said, that still sounds like healing to me. Whether it's nerve damage or your ear or whatever, God can still, if he created you, he can fix you. And so we started to, I said, just let me pray in your ear, and when you can hear me, just stop. And I said, in the name of Jesus. And she said, stop, I can hear you. And it was crazy because she didn't give me the reaction that I was looking for. I was looking for her to freak out, run in circles like everybody else, but she just stopped, blank face, I can hear you, and walked away. And I was like, bummed out. Because I'm like, man, she didn't get healed. She just gave me a courtesy thing so I would go away. And so I'm like, well, if Jesus prayed for somebody a second time, I can pray for somebody a second time. So I went to go find her to command healing again over her ear. And when I walked up to her, I knew she was on the phone, so I stood behind her waiting for her to be finished so I didn't interrupt her. But she was crying on the phone, talking to her mom, saying, no, you don't understand. I'm talking to my deaf ear. You don't understand. This is my deaf ear. And she was just bawling. And the power of God touched that young girl.
So the question I have is, do you see hope for the next generation? That's kind of a stupid question on one hand, like, well, yeah, yes, Lord, I do. But I'm talking about, you know, some stats, and there are things that are happening in the culture that look very discouraging. There are parents watching right now, and you may be feeling very discouraged with all the euphoria that's going on and confusion and people identifying as this, that, or the other. Nobody knows what they are even anymore. And you've been confronting that. So can you tell us the state of the union of young people and what we can do about it?
Yes. I was preaching in Missouri, and I had a lady come up to me, and she was sobbing. And I said, what can I do? Is it healing stuff? Is it, what can I pray for you? And she was bawling, and a lot of people, I think, will resonate with this. She said, I feel like I'm a horrible parent.
Wow.
She said, I was always going to pour into my kids, was always going to give them the word, take them to church, but I never got to it, and now they're about to graduate, all of them, and it's too late.
Man.
She said none of them want to go to church, none of them believe in God, and I just failed. All my kids are going to go to hell. And that weight on her of just sobbing really broke my heart, and I said that God is the Redeemer of time. I said, then let's pray for a miracle now that they would come. And I said, I'm preaching tonight, bring them. We prayed over her, and that night, I looked back, she came in while I was already preaching, all 3 of her kids were with her.
Oh, come on.
All from 18 to 16 years old.
How awesome.
And they sat there, I preached, I talked on the love of God. And I said, who needs Jesus? And all 3 of them stood up and came forward. So to come back to your question,
please,
in a long way, do I see
please.
hope for this generation? 100%. Because this is a hurt, a lost generation. They're looking for something to fight for.
Right.
They're looking for something to believe in. They're looking to belong. They're looking at who they are. And that's why there's so much confusion in the world, is because the world's telling them who they are, who they should be, what they are. And literally, it's a lie from the pit of hell. But they're so hurt, broken, and damaged that they'll believe anything to belong, to feel a part of something, to feel alive. So when we come in there with the power of God, with healing, signs, wonders, miracles, they're looking for that.
Yeah.
And this generation, Gen Z, they are not ashamed to tell you what they think. They are bold, and they will confront, they will go at it, but they don't, and they're willing to fight, but they don't know what they're fighting for.
They just don't know what it is.
They don't have a cause. And so when you see certain parties throwing out causes to go rally and fight for, that's why you see the streets flood. It's because that's the culture we're in, of a younger generation looking for something to fight for.
Yeah.
But you also see that in the church and at these events when these students, they are literally, they catch on fire for Jesus and they go back on fire to their schools and they're bold.
Come on.
And you're seeing 12-year-old kids literally stop in the middle of a basketball game because somebody just broke their ankle, pray for it, and the ankle's healed in front of everybody in a public school.
Come on, Jesus.
And that's this generation, is that when you give them truth and they wake up on the inside, they're done playing games. They're not the churchgoers. They're not the church that want to sit in and do the routine of Sunday morning. They want to be the hands and feet of Jesus. They want the power of God. And so when you give them that, they're ready to run with it.
So we go to Revelation chapter 2, verse 13, Antipas Knowledge 101. It says, I know thy works and where thou dwellest, even where Satan's seat is.
Come on.
And thou holdest fast my name and hast not denied my faith, even in those days wherein Antipas was my faithful martyr, who was slain among you where Satan dwelleth. So the Bible tells us twice right there where Satan dwells. So if you look up where Antipas was martyred, that is where CERN is located. And if you ask yourself,
wow.
Why did CERN want the mineral rights? Why did CERN want to be located on top of where Satan dwelleth? I know why. I'll tell you in just a second. So CERN has a 666 logo. This powers, the quantum computer powers what's called the Hadron Collider.
Yep.
This is colliding the dark underworld, Hades, and it's trying to bring something, to sort of open a portal into another dimension because that's where Satan dwelleth, okay? And that's called the quantum computer that powers CERN. And the name of the technology that powers the new CBDCs is called Quant.Network. Now, the Earth is covered right now with 30,000 low-orbit satellites. So 30,000 low-orbit satellites. They were put there by Elon Musk's Dragon rocket. And the Earth is now covered with 30,000 low-orbit satellites that emit 5G. Now, 5 is penta, G is gram. So the Earth is now blanketed with the pentagram, which then connects, if you have in your body, if you have mRNA modifying nanotechnology in your body. Charles Lieber saw to it. Charles Lieber got paid $50,000 a month. He got paid $50,000 a month, this Harvard professor, Charles Lieber, to create RNA modifying nanotechnology that connects your body to 5G. What? So if you go to timetofreeamerica.com/revelation, you can see the patents. So now your body emits what's called a media access code, which connects you to the 5G, aka the gram. 5 is penta, G is gram, and you can't escape it because if you go onto Google Earth right now, folks, do it tonight, type in your home address, and guess what Google can now see? Everything.
I find it interesting when you're talking about Antipas and the Church of Pergamus and all that area, and that being right over where, rather where CERN is built right on top of. When you're talking about Antipas, there's a very unique point there, though. Antipas being the faithful martyr, his name means against. And what you're doing and what so many of your followers are doing is they're standing against the system, this wicked, corrupt system. And that is where the culture begins to call you Antipas. It was like a code name or a name that was a sarcastic name given to him to mean against. You're just against everything. You Christians are against everything. You're against development. You're against perversion. You're against this new central bank mess. And so that is an interesting point, that Antipas was in that same city where Satan's throne was, and God called him basically his faithful martyr and hero. And I think that's a really strong point, Clay, that you're making. Just wanted to tie that into all the darkness as well. One quick question. How soon do you think they're crashing the stock market so we can go ahead and flip over to this digital currency without any negotiating? Like it's just going to be over? Or how do you think they're going to try to do it?
I'm not going to guess. I'll just tell you the facts so we understand this. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. That's Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. That's BRICS countries. They've all teamed up together to announce a partnership where they're going to introduce what's called a programmable central bank digital currency. It's based in Shanghai. You can look up, it's called the New Development Bank. It's based in Shanghai. And to really kickstart it, they needed to get Iran, they needed to get Mexico, they need to get Saudi Arabia to team up. And so now there are 41%, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, that's 41% of the Earth's population. But now we've just flipped to where the majority of the Earth's population is teaming up with BRICS. So you're going to see the de-dollarization of the Earth today, right now. BRICS is having their conference, their annual conference is happening right now. As we speak, it's happening right now. And at that conference, they're going to announce the continual de-dollarization. So in a country that imports everything, America, we will no longer have dollars that we can export and exchange for the things that we import. So it's going to be tough buying things that we need when our money is worth less. So that's where we're headed. Actually seeing the separation of the sheep and the goats, and the sheep will hear God's voice and recognize
It's true.
who he is. And you're seeing the literal separation right now. So if you're out there today and you say, how can I learn more? You got to go to Luke chapter 21, read that whole thing.
That's
read
right.
Chapter 24, read that whole thing. Read Revelation chapter 6, read that whole, read all Revelation, but Revelation chapter 6, you'll understand what's happening, and that'll give you a context, because the world doesn't understand that the book of Daniel and the book of Revelation fit together. They don't understand that. So it's hard for them to understand what's happening. It's a spiritual debate. It's good versus evil.
Okay, we're going out on assignment, and we are headed actually right out of the gate tonight. You know, we just got back from Russia. We've done a lot of things that God's having us go and do and accomplish. We're going tonight to Global Vision Bible Church for a night of revival with Greg and Ty Locke. It's so awesome to be with them. We love those guys. So if you're in the area, we're going to be there tonight ministering. And then right away, the next day, we're off to where, Heather?
So Nashville, Missouri, we're going to Overcomers Church.
We're going to Overcomers Church in Perryville, Missouri. That'll be through the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. And then what's going on?
And then we head to Arizona, actually Mesa, Arizona, to go into
Word of Life, Palabra de Vida, Ben and Cara Diaz's church. And then actually we're making a pit stop just before that in Dallas to see some people that we might, I don't know, but that'll be just like really quick, just blasting through. So got some good stuff going on. So Jesus is Lord. But we're coming back soon, so we got a lot of studio stuff going on, a lot of big announcements to tell you guys about. And we're so grateful to y'all. Partners, just want to say thank you. I hope you enjoyed my program with Clay Clark. That was a great one. Got a lot of feedback that people were really informed on many things. We have another round of special guests coming on very soon. You're going to want to be watching for that. This next week we'll have some really excellent surprise guests, and it's going to be great. So thank you for standing with us. Partners, you're sending us out. We're finding out some good updates on the momentum of the aircraft also, that we're going to be able to maybe, just maybe, do it sooner than we thought, because there's just a lot of momentum right now, and we're so grateful to you guys for that. And what do I mean by that? It's our travel partners, people that support the travel of this ministry, all that. So everybody who's partnered here and you're staying with us, thank you. You go to josephz.com to do all that stuff. Don't fall for any of the other accounts that seem like they're us. josephz.com has all the info. And if you want to partner, stand with us, send us out. Thank you. We love you guys. Jesus is Lord. I just want to say it. We're going to be tonight, though, at Global Vision Bible Church with my dear brother, the lightning rod of God, Greg Locke, Pastor Greg Locke. I almost said Clay Clark because I just had him on. But it's going to be great being there. I'm looking forward to it. It's been a long time coming, and we're going to bring some prophetic words tonight, some ministry, and whatever the Lord will have us do. I just love that church, love those guys. So looking forward to seeing y'all there. God bless you. We love you. Thank you for being part of our life. We're part of yours. Heather?
Love you all. Praying for you every day.
We do. We pray for you every day.
For us as well.
Yep.
We're just out here getting after it for Jesus.
Yep. Praise God. And just so you know, I'm not driving. The camera's flipped. God bless you guys. Talk to y'all soon. Jesus is Lord. Bye, everyone. These days, there's a lot of smoke on the topic of angels and spiritual encounters. I don't know if you're like me, but I like results when it comes to the things of God. That's why I believe the Spirit of the Lord had me write this book, Servants of Fire. This is a last days prayer manual of prophecy, intercession, and angelic activity that really will get results based on the Bible and real horsepower. I encourage you to get your copy today at josephz.com. Well, I am so thankful you're here. You know, this ministry is expanding. We are growing, and it is to the glory of the Lord. And I want to say something to every partner here, whether you are a recent partner or been with us a very long time. From the bottom of our heart, thank you. Partners, because of you, we could not do what we're doing. We're taking territory, we're building new media all the time, we're advancing, we're putting out written materials and giving away content all over the world. And we're so grateful to you for it. You send us on journeys that cost nothing to the people who are bringing us in. And I want to say simply to you, thank you. Now, if you want to join our partner family and you're watching, I encourage you to do so today. You go to josephz.com or you can text the keyword GIVE to 719-259-0029. If you join our partner family, you're going to hear from us. We will love on you. We will pray for you. We will stand with you over all your dreams and your visions. And I'm telling you what, Heather and I, we constantly are praying for our partners. So please consider, if you're on the fence, join the partner family and let's do this thing together, both in prayer and generosity. We believe that God is going to make all your purpose, destiny, and dreams come to pass. We're standing with you for it. So thank you for considering partnering with us today. Again, you go to josephz.com. We have a lot of territory to take and we want to do it together. God bless you. Remember, on a bad day, you're the best there is, and you are called to be and shine the light in darkness. I'll see you again next time right here as we continue bringing a now word of the Lord. God bless you.